Hello, and thank you for joining us. Today, we'll be discussing important steps that you as a federal contractor can take to prep for the audit while preparing your annual incurred cost submission. Having a strategy in place to minimize downstream headaches when the auditor comes knocking will reap huge benefits for your organization in the long run. My name is Jennifer Rettelle, and I am the Vice President of Operations.
And my name is Marie Salamone, and I'm a partner with Capital Edge. Together, we, along with our team of experts, have extensive experience supporting government contractors with a wide variety of incurred cost submission support. Let's get started with our countdown of the 5 ways to prep for the incurred cost proposal.
In the number 5 slot is document everything. This is really critical. We advise all of our clients to keep detailed records. Did the purpose of a specific account change from prior years? Did you have a new intermediate pool to distribute IT costs or change the allocation basis of IT costs from headcount to user licenses or another logical basis? Were new GL accounts added during the course of the year? These are just some of the types of things that should be documented during the course of the ICS preparation process. Document the complete understanding of all of the assumptions upon which the ICS is built will save undue stress upon audit. And having this documentation organized is a bonus. Plus, the notes generated from the prior incurred cost submissions can be used to aid the preparation in the next submission. Another reminder is that the time between the actual preparation and submission of the ICS to when it is actually audited has been shrinking thanks to DCAA's push to decrease the ICS audit backlog. However, there can still be gaps of months to years. Don't get caught with your hands tied. Document everything up front and you will minimize the stress and frustration created when you're trying to figure out what was done and why while the auditor is waiting on the answer.
Number 4 on the list, spread the knowledge wealth. In small organizations, it is not uncommon for a single individual to be the sole preparer of the ICS. As organizations grow and mature, multiple individuals may support the preparation. We recommend that multiple individuals within the organization are part of the process and understand the inner workings of the ICS, regardless of the size of the organization. Without sharing the knowledge wealth, organizations create a single point of failure. What happens if that one person moves on to a role outside of the organization before the audit occurs? What if he or she was not diligent with the documentation and the assumptions upon which the ICS was based, and they're lost before audit? Save yourself from this stress and share the knowledge wealth.
Recommendation number 3, prepare all the supplemental schedules. Have you ever found yourself in a time crunch and not wanted to complete all of the supplemental schedules? I know several people who have been in this boat. They may not be required for DCAA to determine an ICS to be adequate, but failing to complete them may have a detrimental impact. First, Supplemental Schedule B should be completed, as it calculates whether or not executive comp is in excess of the annual cap. Failing to properly analyze this can potentially lead to a situation where unallowable costs are claimed rather than deducted from claimed costs in the ICS. Second, completing the Supplemental Schedule A's, which compare the current ICS cost by pool and account to prior years. This evaluation should be part of the preparation process. Large or unexpected fluctuations in costs year over year at a minimum need to be investigated. This can identify gaps, errors, changes in how costs are accumulated, and the like. Additionally, an auditor may request the completed supplemental schedules during the audit. Preparing supplemental schedules at that point while the audit is ongoing and finding potential issues can cause an audit to go south in a hurry.
We are down to number 2. keep a working copy and a final submission version of the ICS. Have you ever found yourself scratching your head trying to figure out where a particular value in an ICS came from? For example, information such as user licenses may not be as well documented or come from a standard report, but could be the basis of an allocation for some IT-related expenses. Trying to find the source documentation downstream upon an audit can be a challenge, especially with information coming from reports that are not standardized out of a system. The recommendation to retain a working copy is to maintain a final version of the submission with all the links to the source documentation and schedules in one file. In other words, link to all the data that is feeding the required ICS schedules. Complex submissions could have dozens of reports and supplemental schedules that populate the submission, and there could be multiple versions of a specific report pulled during the course of an ICS preparation. Keeping track of all of this data can keep an audit on track or lead to a quick derailment.
Last but not least, understand the audit expectations. The fastest way for the ship to sink during an audit is to have a misstep or misunderstanding related to audit expectations. Setting clear expectations with the auditor at the outset can help to mitigate the potential for unrealistic expectations and hopefully eliminate the potential for failing to meet expectations if they were not clearly defined. Plus, meeting auditor expectations makes the process easier on the auditor and leads to a positive working relationship with the auditor. Start the audit off on the right foot and set those expectations early.
Well, there you have it. Our top 5 ways to prep for the audit while preparing the ICS. Do you have questions or need help preparing your ICS? We can help. Send us an email at info@capitaledgeconsulting.com to reach one of our experts. Thank you for joining us today.